Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Madison Charleston from MLC Tech, and today we're doing a video on a new type of malware tech. Now, we've seen a bunch of other reports recently of other companies falling victim to other hacks, such as Microsoft, who fell victim to a simple password breach where an account credentials got compromised for using a simple password and no form of two-factor authentication whatsoever, which was just the easiest hack in history, and for Microsoft to fall victim to such an easy attack was just mind-blowing. But today we're covering a new attack vector that Google revealed, which is similar to PDF tricks that we've seen in the past. So sit back and relax as we dive into the new encrypted PDF malware. Now, this new attack vector was published on Thursday in a blog post documenting this new phishing tactic from ColdDriver, which is a hacking group that the US and UK suspects are working for the Russian government. A year ago, news emerged that ColdDriver was targeted 3 US nuclear research laboratories, so some pretty serious stuff there. But like other hacks, ColdDriver will try and hijack the victim's computer by sending out a phishing message, with its end result in trying to deliver malware to a victim's PC. Now, with most type of modern malware, the way they try to infect a system is through common practices of social engineering and other phishing tactics. ColdDriver utilizes impersonation accounts and pretending to be an expert in a particular field or somehow affiliated with the target in mind. The impersonating account is then used to establish a connection with the target, increasing the likelihood of the phishing campaign success, and eventually spreads a phishing link or document containing a link. But the way they deviate from usual phishing scams is that to fool a target into installing the malware, ColdDriver will send written articles as a PDF asking for feedback. But the way this differs is that this PDF file is actually safe to open, though the way this differs is that the text will appear to be encrypted, where beforehand would have malicious code packaged inside of a PDF, and they would do this by saving the PDF as a screensaver file opposed to an actual PDF. So this PDF file would be disguised as a different file extension, and once you execute this PDF, then the malicious code will run on your system, and usually these will contain attacks such as a redline sealer, which would steal data from your computer, potentially have other attacks such as browser hijacks, where they take your session tokens and then upload it to the attacker's computer, so they can access all of your data and online activities as if they were still running it on your computer. And this is how they will traditionally get around a lot of detections in the past. But this time around, the PDF file itself is actually safe to open, and the text will appear encrypted to the user. Now, if the target responds that they cannot read the encrypted document, as the text appears to be encrypted because it's a bunch of jumbled up letters, then the ColdDriver impersonation account will respond with a link, usually hosted on a cloud storage site, as a decryption utility for the sensitive documents that they've apparently sent you. But this decryption utility will act as if it's actually decrypted the document and will display a decoy document, so you don't quite suspect that, hang on, why isn't it working? Have I fallen victim to some sort of scam? Because my file won't open, what's going on here? You just think, oh, okay, my file is decrypted, I can read this now, and you suspect nothing has happened. But in fact, you've been infected with a type of malware, and this opens up an entire backdoor and access to your system that you would be none the wiser to. Now, this backdoor malware in particular is dubbed this Spica malware, which appears to be the first custom malware that ColdDriver has actually developed themselves. And Google says once that this malware is installed on your system, the malware can execute commands, steal cookies from the user's browsers, download and upload files, and extract documents from the computer that this has fallen victim to. This type of malware is what we would refer to in the industry as a RAT, or a remote access tool, and it isn't a new or clever tactic in the space of computer security. It's quite an old piece of malware and tactic people would use to control your system. But while the malware itself hasn't become that advanced, the way that they trick you into installing it is the thing that actually drives the way for a malware success. It's not so much the technical steps of the malware once it's been executed. Once the payload is executed, it doesn't matter about how complex the malware is or how easy it is to detect. It's just about circumventing the user to actually run this malicious piece of software on the PC in the first place. And this is done by social engineering, which Doesn't require any form of technical capabilities to execute it. All you need to know is how to socially engineer a person. Like many people in the cybersecurity industry will always say, the biggest vulnerability to a computer system is not the computer system, it's the user behind it. The human mind and social engineering is the most easiest thing to exploit in this industry. Now, Google has said that it has observed this piece of malware being used as early as September 2023 and believe that code driver's use for the backdoor goes back to at least November 2022. A total of 4 encrypted PDF logs were spotted, but Google only managed to retrieve a single sample of this piece of malware, which arrived in a tool called Encrypted.exe. The goal of this malware has been to steal login credentials from users and groups connected to Ukraine, NATO, academic institutions, and NGOs. But in order to protect its users, Google has updated its software to block loading domains tied to code drivers' phishing campaigns. But unfortunately, this type of approach will always be a cat and mouse game, and websites hosting these malicious files are always going to be taken down. So it's always going to be a constant cat and mouse game of let's shut down these malicious links. But every time Google shuts down a malicious link, another one will just pop up. So it's a constant cat and mouse game of shut it down, new one opening, shut it down, new one opening. So it's going to be a constant battle back and forth. And this hacking group has been actually somewhat successful with its deployment of this malware. Now, Cold Driver is also known as Star Blizzard and has been used since 2019 to target sectors including academia, defense, governmental organizations, NGOs, think tanks, and politicians. And it was also noted by the US Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency that during 2022, Star Blizzard activity appeared to expand further to include defense industrial targets, as well as targeting the US Department of Energy facilities. So this malware is pretty significant and has proven to be an actual danger in its success of its execution. So while Google and other companies are taking steps to try and help secure us from this threat, but with this malware, the best form of defense is just common practice and general security practices, such as looking into where a file comes from and analysing a file before you open it. Now, with someone like myself who is quite tech savvy, who knows how to analyse files before I open them, to know how to find an origin of a document and then further analyse how a certain file works before I execute it on my main system, I do a lot of things like actual data analysis of an executable. I would run it in a sandbox environment to see and how a program would act on my system if I was to execute it. But for the average person and the people that this hacking group is actually targeting are the people who are not going to be as tech savvy and not as aware as to the capabilities of what a file could do to someone's system. Most people will just take things at face value and think, oh, this looks legit, so I will just open it. So at the end of the day, the best common practice is further education and training around these type of threats, as it's not people's fault that they're oblivious to it. Quite frankly, these large organisations need to provide more training to its staff in order to prevent threats like this from ever executing. And the best takeaway that I can leave you with this is education and training is how you can actually avoid most cybersecurity attacks. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions on this topic in the comments down below. And what do you think of this latest PDF malware attack? Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, as I would love to know what you are thinking at home. Anyway, I have been Madison Charlton from MLC Tech. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it in any way, shape or form, make sure to give this video a like and maybe subscribe for more content like this in the future. Thank you once again for watching today's video, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye for now.